Okay, here we have a 55-inch Hitachi LED TV that was manufactured in 2016, I believe. This is a model LE55A6R9A, I believe. Was that a 4? I'm not sure. But we'll take a look. We'll go ahead and plug it in. And the little LED, the standby indicator light is right there at the bottom, right here. So we'll take a look at that. We'll go ahead and plug it in. Changes to blue. As you can see, we can see that it is blue. Okay. And then once we hit the power button, which is right here on the back, or use the remote, it does change to red. Okay, so it's off. Now I do see something here on the screen with my light. Hopefully you can see that. Right there. It says Hulu. And so that definitely lets us know that we have another backlight problem. Okay guys, just so you know, we got the TV on its face now. We're getting ready to pull it apart. The first thing to do with this television is, because it uses a separate Roku USB device, okay, right here, is to remove this first. Okay, keep that. Don't forget to put it back on. This one usually has a screw right here in the hole, so you have to unscrew the screw, pull this off, and then pull off the stick. Keep this, that, and the screw together. Screw's already taken out, so no big deal. Keep that together, and do that before you try to take the back cover off. And the next step we're going to do is actually pull off our little feet for our stand. This one and the one on the other side. The actual screw is on the bottom. Just take a drill, whatever you're going to use. There's only one big screw. Okay. I think they only go in one way, so you can't get them confused from left to right, but okay, that's it. Okay, and then as far as the rest of the TV, the first thing we're going to do is actually pull this off, this thing, little, I call it a gull wing, a wing cover, comes off first. We'll take the screws out of that, and that should come right up, okay? Okay, we've got all of our screws out. Make sure you get each and every one of them out of there. Okay, they all have to be out, okay? They do use different size screws, so try to separate them or kind of remember which one goes where, especially if you know the difference between a metal and a wood screw. No big deal, right? Okay, and fortunately for us, this back cover has no speakers or anything on the back of it. So, you know, I tell people all the time, when you take the back cover off, don't just yank it off, because it's usually some wires going here. Maybe it's the Wi-Fi module, the speakers. But this one, everything is flush with the TV. Nothing on the back cover. Even the power button is still, the power button assembly is still right there, attached to the TV. Okay, as you can see, this is a power supply board here. These are our plugs for our LEDs, and as you can see, they're going right inside the TV. That's how you can tell. And we're just going to check them right fast. This one's pretty easy to check. I'll just go ahead and leave it in the circuit, attached to the board. And the red is red, and the black is red is red. The red is positive, and the black is, of course, a negative on one of them. and the white wire is the negative on the other one. And so we'll just go ahead and read that. We'll do it like this here. And so we'll go black. We'll do this first line here. It will start with this one. Black on black, red on red. You can see infinite is, or open is 307 volts, I guess that is. Okay, that one does light up. As you look through this holes right here, you'll see it light up. And I'm reading approximately 90 volts to light that side, to light that line up for the strips. The one line, we'll go to the second line. And black, white is negative, red on red. And as you can see, it is 200, almost the infinite 300. So we definitely have an open there. So now obviously, I believe with this one, we're going to have to take the screws off from around the bezel. Okay. There's some small screws going around, all the way around. Those screws there. All the way around the TV. Okay. And but before we even do that, we want to do some important stuff first, and that is remove, so for safety precautions, we want to actually pull off, detach our LDVS cable. Here, going from here to the main board. Going from the TCON board to the main board. Okay, we'll detach this right here. Okay, that way there's no electricity going through here when we go to test fire the TV up. Okay. Now all that'll do, if the TV is working, all that'll do is just give you a TV with backlight but no video. Okay, but anyway, and then we're going to disconnect these from right here. This is our driver board connector from our TCON board. You got left and right, one on each side. You can disconnect them here or here, whichever's easier for you. I'm just doing mine from right here. Okay, want to disconnect that. Okay. Now the speakers are actually screwed on here, and it looks like they may not get in the way. When we pull off the screen with the driver boards attached to it. So actually we're going to leave that there, and that's probably about it for this TV. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to put these back. In there, okay. Just disconnect them from right there, okay. Or if you want, you can just take them off if you're afraid they're going to bend on you. But those should be okay. And then what I actually need to do is pull these screws from around the bezel. Got a little light here, don't forget about that. That's a little blue/red light. Only goes in one spot. Okay, I see where it's at. Just remember how you took it out. No big deal. Yeah, so we'll probably want to leave that there, or if you want, you can just unplug it. It's up to you. Because once we take all the screws off, we're going to have to flip the TV on its back and remove the bezel. That's why we want to disconnect all that stuff and make sure there's nothing in the way. Oh, and I forgot, there she is, my lovely wife you've never seen. She's shy, she don't like to get on camera, but she did decide to be nice and speak today. How we doing, honey?
I'm good, honey.
That's good, honey. Okay, well, I'll see you in a minute, okay?
Okay, honey.
All right. Okay. Another thing I want to point out too, after you take all the screws off around the television. The bottom screws are actually right here. There's like 5 of them going across there, silver screws. Okay, so make sure that you take those off along with the other ones before you flip it over. And another thing I want to point out too that I've noticed on a lot of these TVs, they use these little feet for the stand, you know, to stand up on. Is that in a lot of TVs you can actually adjust the placement of the feet. Okay, so instead of it being right here, you can bring it right there in case you have like a smaller table or something that you want to set the TV on. And all you have to do, but unfortunately, you have to take the back cover off. And as you can see, I removed the screws already. The plate that actually holds the foot in right here, you can actually bring it closer and there'll be some more screws right there. This one I thought kind of looked like it for a second. It looks like maybe you could if I move the speaker down. But yes, a lot of newer TVs will do that. All you have to do is flip the TV you know, upside down carefully, or look at the bottom of it, lay it on the floor and look at the bottom of it, flip it up, and there'll actually be some holes here and actually closer to the middle of the TV also. So just something that I want to point out in case you got like a big TV and it's if it's newer, like I said, if it's like an older set, probably not, but if it's anything manufactured like a year or two ago or something like that, yeah, you can adjust those in most cases. Okay, so pretty much we'll be taking all of our screws out, and once we do that, we'll go ahead and flip the TV around on its back and pull off the outer bezel. Okay, so I got the TV. I got all of my screws out, and I got my TV. I just flipped the television over. Now this bezel here that we're going to have to take off, this outer bezel. It's not tricky, but just be very careful. If you get into a tight spot where it doesn't want to come up, do not try to pull on it and force it up or keep bending it, because what's going to happen is you're going to crack the screen. I have done that on one of these televisions before. So we're just going to start in the corner. Just use something sharp like this here, and I got it pried up a little bit already, but I'm just going to go to the top part and kind of like pry it up a little bit, like so. And be careful with these tabs on the side. There are some tabs on the side of the actual screen, so if you hear any paper moving or anything, be very careful, okay? And just sort of kind of and as you can see, you can always use your fingernails once it is up to get that open, to get that unpried, I mean. And I noticed these are very tricky on the side, and that's how I cracked one actually. So I just go ahead and use my finger, what I have left of some fingernails, and like I said, once it's loose, you just kind of go around. Keep doing that, and as you can see, the looser it gets, the better it gets. Okay, like I said, try not to stick anything sharp up under the side part, because there are some tabs. I'll show you if I can get this piece off on the side here. Always that one. Always that one. Finally got it off. Okay, now we have to remove our screen. And of course, before we do that, we need to take loose the driver boards and kind of fold them over the screen, because otherwise we're going to rip. If we try to take the screen off now, we're actually going to rip these ribbon connectors, which are located. There's 4 of them. There's actually 6 of them. 3 for each side, 3 for this board, 3 for this driver board. So please make sure that you do that. I say good advice, go ahead and loosen those first, because some people will forget. They'll say, oh, I got to the screen. That's it. TV's done for. But anyway, there's some little tabs right up under here. They should just loosen the bottom tab, or the tab closest to you. Slide the board out a little bit away from that bottom tab, and then we'll actually bend it a little bit. And that's it. That's one board, and then we'll do the other one same way. Take a loose that tab right in front of you, pull it back a little bit, pull the board down, make sure it's cleared. Pull the board down, make sure that part's cleared. And then we can kind of like take the board. And like I said, you don't want to bend these or pull on it. You just want to slide out very easily. We can put some electrical tape across here, or some scotch tape, and just tape it to the screen. That way when you go to move the screen, these boards won't get caught on anything and ruin the TV. Okay, now I have to actually take our diffuser screen off. It's this white screen. Don't worry, it's not fragile, but you don't want to crack it, because you'll be able to see the crack in here once you turn the TV on when it's back together. So anyway, what I usually do, this one has 4 separate brackets to hold in the diffuser screen. One top, bottom, left, and right. The top ones do come off first. The top and bottom ones come off first. I don't know if you can probably catch this on camera, but it's like some little right there. See, there's an overlap right here. So the top and bottom ones will come off first, and when we put it back together, the left and right ones will go back on first, and then the top and bottom. You have to make sure that it is correct, because if you don't, when you go to put the screen on and put the bezel back on there, you are definitely going to crack it if the screen is sitting up or sitting below a certain level. And this is really all you have to do. Just unclip these little thingamajigs right here. Just unclip those and all the way around, and we'll top and bottom first, then all the way around, and you'll be free to remove your diffuser screen. And just so you know, I do mark mine. Just mark the left bottom edge, or whatever side you choose. That way you know you're not confused when you put it back together which side goes where. But like I said, when you're reassembling this, you put the sides back on left and right, then do the top and bottom, because of this little groove here. It actually overlaps. The bottom piece actually overlaps that, and also does the top. But anyway, we've got all of our pieces here. Put those to the side. Take off our actual diffuser screen. And there's actually one, I also marked my screen also right here with the little dot. So I know that this piece goes on top and this piece goes in the bottom left corner, okay, towards me anyway. And then, so this is how that usually goes in case you get it mixed up. This little more transparent piece is up under there. The dull piece is on top. The smooth side is always on the bottom, okay? So facing toward the LEDs. So we got 1, 2 screens. Come on, baby. Okay, so we got this one, and then we have the actual thick plastic screen. That is always the screen that goes toward the bottom part, okay? The very last screen. We'll keep them all together. Stand them up in a safe place. Do not get any dirt on these at all. And as you can see, this one has been worked on before. So when I have to remove this white paper here, there are some screws here, and there are also some stand-ups to support these screens. We'll have to remove these. I think we have to go to the book. That one came right out. That comes right out. Okay. And we got some screws here and this white paper and also this stuff. We'll remove that and see what happens. Okay, so we've got our white paper removed. And as we look at each, there are 6 strips. 3 strips on each line, so we know that one of the lines are open. And if we go to the actual LEDs or where the plugs plug in at on the strips, we can look and we'll see 2 gold dots, 2 gold squares. Those are your test points. They do use a rectifier diode, I believe, or something that assists with the lighting up. A lot of cases, those will be shorted when they use those diodes. So that's the hint. Always check those diodes. If you have any LED strips that use those little diodes, some may have one on each LED or a couple. Always check those before you try to change the individual LEDs and not the entire strips, because all it's going to do is short those LEDs out or open one up again as soon as you plug it in and fire it up. But, however, I'm going to see if I can find the bad LED. And so basically how that works is the top one is positive. It's my meter here, and the one that's up opposite the where the diode is printed. It's so positive, there, negative. As you can see, those lit up, and I'm getting approximately 30.5 volts to light those strips up on my checker here. Okay, we'll go to the next one. All those are lighting up, 30.4, good enough. 30.4, okay, good enough. And this one is actually our open line here. Okay, that is open. Okay, we'll check the next one. All those are lighting up, 30.4 again. And this one, all those are also lighting up at 30.4. And as you can see, I did mark it already with the arrows. I'm going to check the second part of the strip. The strips come in 2 pieces. So it'll actually be 12 pieces all together if you buy the strips. I'm going to check the second part of the line. Let's see here. Okay, that one does light up except for one. So let me show you here. Try that again. I can go on either side, I believe. Yep. Okay. And that one lights up except for the third one from the left, or from the right, I mean. So we know we have a shorted one on this one, and we have an open LED on this one, because when I go back here, the strip doesn't light up at all with my checker, so I let me know that I have an open LED. So what I'm going to do is actually just replace the entire strip. Okay, these are brand new strips. Just so you guys can see, okay, these are all brand new strips. But however, I'm just going to replace one of them, okay, and I'm going to use these other ones, you know, for some other TVs. A lot of people just go ahead and replace them all. I don't like that, because you're actually just wasting money, because you can actually use these. You know, this TV isn't known, if it doesn't have a lot of short LEDs, or is it known for callbacks and all that. Just buy the whole strip and just use buy the whole set and just use the ones that you need. Okay. But anyway, enough of all that. I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the entire strip. Okay. If you wanted to, you can change the LEDs. I did check the individual LEDs. I did check the capacitor. I'm sorry, I did check that diode and it was not shorted. Okay. Let me get these suckers out. Okay. And this should go like that. Alright, okay. Plug in there. And let me just double check that one. And just like I said, if the TV is yours and you're not a TV repair man, I mean, yeah, just go ahead and replace all of them if you want to. That way you don't go back in there. Okay, that one is lighting up. But why it's only at 30 volts is kind of weird to me. This is the right one, right? Yep, those are the right ones, okay. Let's check the one next to it. Okay. Maybe it's a little different. Maybe it's a revised one. But yeah, like I was saying, if this is your TV and you don't do this for a living, yeah, just go ahead and order all the strips. Just might as well just replace them all. It's up to you. But like I said, usually I'm a little more conservative. And when it comes to these TVs, if I happen to order all the strips, I'm not going to use every last one of them because next thing I know, next week I'll have the same TV in with the same problem. So anyway, we'll go ahead and replace that. So what we do is we're just going to unplug it first, unplug the strip. Okay, that's the first thing to do. Just push it down, pull it out some kind of way. Be careful with these, sometimes these sockets are real cheap. And the plugs. Okay, so that came right out. And then this doesn't have any screws. It actually uses some double-sided tape. Okay, I believe. So we need something sharp to get it loose. Which is insane, but well, that's ridiculous. Okay. And let's see here. I'm going to try to line up with the screw holes on here. That way I know it's lined up. Actually, this has the tape already on the back. Okay, so I'm just gonna pull it off. Okay, cool. Excellent. You always make sure that they're connected together before you put them on. Okay, and I'm gonna line that hole with that one. Okay, that hole with that one. Line the two middle holes. Everything else should follow, hopefully, with the last hole. Okay. So far so good. And this hole up front here should line up also. Okay. So that looks good. We'll plug it back in. And what I'll do, because I did have my LEDs unplugged, my LED connectors unplugged from the power supply, I'm going to connect those back up. Okay. I'm going to plug these back into the power supply. Okay. Double check and make sure either this is disconnected here, okay, which it is, okay, because I'm going to test fire it up now, and looks like one of my speakers did actually come off here, okay. Oh, that's fine. All right. Oh, I see now, it does. Okay, all right, no problem. And I'll go ahead and plug her in. We'll just do it like this here. Let's see. Came right on. Voila. So that's it, guys. Nothing else to do. Put it back together, same way you took it apart. White paper, okay, which also has marked with a little, you can see that in red, okay. Everything seems to line up okay. I'm going to try to put as many of those screws back as I can. I think I do have some extra ones. Like I said, just turn the backlight settings down and you really shouldn't have this problem again for years to come. And by me putting those screws back in, is actually going to hold the LED strip. As you can see, the back looks like some sort of metal or copper. Hold it down to the actual frame to keep it from overheating, okay, for good heat transfer. And that's going to make your LEDs last longer. So we'll put these back in. Okay, our little stand-ups there. Some of those have some screws. And then we'll put our diffuser screens on. Our diffuser screen brackets, the four brackets for each side. And put our actual screen on, and then put our actual outer bezel on, and that should do it. Oh, we've got our screen supports up, and I just had to pry the bottom of them a little bit so they're wider, so they won't fall out. And I've also got the couple screw ends. That's all I had on there. And I'm going to put the diffuser screens back on. All three of these are together, and it's going to line them up pretty good. There are some notches up here where they go, up here, and notches right here. Also true for the bottom, they have some different square notches, but everything has some on the side too. There's some notches here in the actual screens, and there's a notch here on the frame, and a notch right there. Okay, make sure everything's pretty much even. Kind of move it around, make sure everything is lined up perfectly, make sure it's not sticking up, make sure the notches in the bottom are good, on the side, so on, so on. Top part, excellent. Okay, looks good so far so good. I always like to do is just go ahead and turn it on while it's in this state, just to make sure that you don't have any shadows or you know, anything that's gonna have circles or anything in the screen. Okay, everything looks pretty good so far. As you can see, you can really see all the imperfections, like in the paper and stuff. Looks like I got some dust there or something. Let's see here. Okay, maybe not. So everything looks good enough. Of course, you'll barely see that when you put the actual screen on. So that's just fine. So then we'll put our actual support brackets on. And like I said, just the opposite of what we did before. So I do have these marked in red. I should have got lighter color, but I can see that one goes on that side. And this one obviously goes on that side. And so we actually have to put on the sides first and then the top and bottom. And these should just click right on. As you can tell by the clips, they only go on one way, okay? Double check it, make sure everything's flush. All right, top and bottom are probably gonna be different, that's why it's good to mark them. Let's see here. Okay, another thing that I want to note is right before I was getting ready to put my screen on, after I got all the diffuser screen holders, supports, or whatever you want to call them in place, I did notice there was a buckle right here. And I'm glad I noticed that because it had some black tape around here. And I really couldn't see it. But like I said, just look at it, put your face down, look at it, make sure everything is even. And then once you replace all of these diffuser screen brackets, just push on them and just make sure everything is clicked in. Okay? Okay. I'm gonna put my screen in, and as you can see, make sure everything is flush. There's some little grooves on the top, bottom, and the side. Make sure the screen is not, I repeat, is not sitting on top of anything. Make sure it's not coming up on one side, nothing like that. That looks pretty good. Double check it. When I say double check it, make sure corner, make sure the screen isn't sitting up, you know, like this over one of the little studs or support things. And that is it. I'm going to fold back over my driver boards. Untape them. Be careful when you untape them that you don't pull driver boards. Want to fold those back over, clip those back in, same when we took them out. And then we're going to put on our outer bezel, hook up everything on the back of the TV on the inside, and then we should be all good. Okay, we're going to snap our bezel in. The Hitachi, the brand name always goes in the bottom, remember that? Okay. And I'm just going to kind of line it up first before I start pressing. Make sure that it's definitely lined up. Okay. Just kind of start with one side. You actually hear it click. Don't push too hard. Don't want to crack the screen once again. Go all the way around. Don't forget to put our screws, especially these silver screws on the bottom of the outer bezel, and the rest of the screws around there. Also, don't forget to put back in your Roku stick in the US, the HDMI stick, HDMI 3. Don't forget about that. Okay, we'll go ahead and turn it on. Light turns blue. Backlights, please wait. That's it. That's it. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure that you give me a like and do subscribe for more videos. And with that being said, see you on the next one. Big Dog out.